A scathing op-ed from McConnell's hometown newspaper, the Louisville Courier-Journal, saying McConnell is about to violate multiple oaths of office. Quote, McConnell's loyalty to Trump should not overwhelm his loyalty to the Constitution. All senators should take their obligation of faithful impartiality seriously, especially McConnell. Adding, history is watching, and it will be a harsh judge. Joining me now is the writer of that op-ed, Kent Greenfield, a sixth-generation Kentuckian and law professor at Boston College. Ken, great to have you with us. Thank you so much for joining us. First of all, why did you feel the need to write this op-ed and speak out?
I think, Simon, it's great to be here because as a Kentuckian, I know what it's like, how important it is to tell the truth and to be firm with our oaths. And in my view of the Constitution, Senator McConnell is about to violate two. The president has violated one, his oath of office, which is set out in the text of the Constitution in Article 2. Now, there are only two other oaths mentioned in the Constitution. One is in Article 6, which every public official takes to support and protect the Constitution. But there's another oath mentioned in Article 1, and it's set out that when the senators sit to try impeachments, they must sit by oath and be bound by oath or affirmation, which means the framers knew that this was one of the gravest things that the Senate would ever do, and they shouldn't just take it as a political matter. It's a legal remedy for abuse of power of the president. And they have to be impartial, and they have to take it very seriously with the gravity that it deserves.
Not to go down a history lesson here, but given the fact that we are finding ourselves in this moment, I want to ask you a question that I also asked Nick Ackerman earlier, which is, do you think the framers of the Constitution ever envisioned a moment where the Senate, which is supposed to be part of a co-equal branch of government, would be so co-opted by the president, a separate branch of government, that a simple oath like this, as you are now concerned about, could be violated so easily?
Not at all, right? The parties that, in the way that we know them, did not exist at the time. There was supposed to be much more of a separation of powers and a balance of powers between the Congress and the president. It would have surprised them that the GOP would have been essentially mirroring the president's strategy in the Senate. I mean, Senator McConnell is a constitutional officer. He has an obligation to make sure that this trial is impartial. And it's like he's in a sense the foreman of the jury. And so the foreman of the jury is working with the defense to figure out the strategy to get the defendant acquitted. And that's inconsistent with what I think the text of the Constitution requires.
What kind of reaction are you getting from your fellow Kentuckians today?
Well, I've gotten some. In fact, I heard about this email first early on in the morning. I got an email from a former student who was there, and who knows? You know, Kentucky, I think, is a state that has been firmly in Trump's camp. But I think a lot of people in Kentucky are very take their honesty seriously. And I know that Senator McConnell is not the most popular politician in the state. The governor's race was just won by a Democrat. So I think there's some reason to believe that my fellow Kentuckians will be a part of this effort to make sure that Senator McConnell takes care that he abides with his oaths.
Yeah, it is certainly going to be something we watch in 2020 very closely. Kent Greenfield, thank you very much for joining us this evening. Appreciate your time.